Good morning. I'm Cheryl Hunter with Classic Realty, and I just wanted to jump on this morning and talk to you a little bit about short sales. There are currently 8 short sale listings in the Pahrump area, and 7 of them are in escrow, and there is 1 available. What's a short sale? A short sale is when the seller owes more to the bank than the property is actually worth. So essentially, you have to go back to their lender and get permission in order to sell the property for less money. So what does that mean to both parties? Well, for a seller, a short sale is going to do a couple of things. It's not going to have as negative of an impact as an actual foreclosure on their credit report. It will stay on their credit report for 7 years, but it doesn't take away as much. So in order to buy another house, you do have waiting periods. For short sale, you're going to have a 2-year wait for VA, conventional 4-year wait to buy again under that loan, FHA 3 years, and USDA 3 years. Whereas if you were to get a foreclosure on your record, you're waiting 7 years for a conventional loan, and it impacts your credit a lot more. So it does help if you're going to be buying another house, just for the impact that it's going to have on your credit and your wait times. And how does it affect the buyer? Well, for the buyer, you're going to be looking at a longer closing period. So don't get into a short sale transaction expecting to close in 30 days. The seller is going to need to send their bank statements and their proof of income and any circumstances that's leading for them to sell the house short to the bank, and that can be a lengthy process because usually the bank does send out an agent to evaluate the property that's not involved in the transaction because they want to get an honest view of it. They're also going to want to see an appraisal if the buyer's getting one. There's going to be probably 4 to 6 months to get it done. The seller is going to have to be on the spot just to get their paperwork in and make sure that the lender is getting everything they need in order to close. The buyer is going to have to wait. We typically wait to do our due diligence until we have that short sale approval from that lender that says exactly what price they'll take. And the other thing is sometimes when the house is listed for a certain dollar amount, that lender will come back and say, no, they won't accept that lower payment. They're going to want more than what the original contract was negotiated. So a lot of times the buyer is going to have to come up in price or walk away from the deal and lose out on the house that they wanted. And it might take, it'll take a while for the buyer to get that notification. Hi, Uncle Kelly. So, it can be tedious, and then it's disappointing for the seller if the buyer does back out and they don't want to wait and they don't want to come up to the price that the bank wants. The positive part of that is then the seller has the approved amount from the bank that they'll accept, and they can go ahead and list the price on the MLS for the price that's approved by the bank, and sometimes it speeds things up for the next buyer. So if you're going into a short sale hoping to get a deal, you may get a deal because it does typically sell for less than is owed. However, it does take a long time, and be ready that if that list price goes up by the short sale company, that if you're really wanting that house, you're probably going to have to come up in price. So sometimes it's a lot more than you wanted to pay initially. So essentially, short sales take a long amount of time. And, sometimes they pay off and sometimes they don't. It can be a tedious process for both buyer and seller because it's miserable to have to wait. The seller doesn't always like to engage and put all of their effort into getting all the paperwork in. A lot of times it's just, it's not fun, especially when you wait a long time and you find out the bank wants a lot more for the property than you were intending to pay. But sometimes you can get a great deal on it. So that's the long and the short of it. There are currently 250 homes on the market in Pahrump. If you want to go see one, give me a call, or if you have one to list, let me know. You can call me anytime. I work 7 days a week and happy to help out where I can. It is a high of 68 degrees today in Pahrump with a low of 46, and the sun has just started to come out. It's been raining for the last couple days, but it looks like it's going to be awfully pretty today. So have a great week, and I'll see you guys all soon. Thank you.